Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Robert Poole and I'm a City Council member for the City of Denham Springs. I said I wanted to use my YouTube channel to do two things. First of all, to supplement my attempt to bring my message to you as I request that you consider the privilege of re-electing me on November the 8th. I'm not taking any money, so my whole campaign is financed right out of my own pocket. And I'm a full-time student still pursuing my master's degree at New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. I got a daughter at LSU. I got two daughters still in the Livingston Parish School System. So my expenses are high. My desire is to stay true to who I am as a public servant, which is not to be beholden to anybody except for those who elected me. And so therefore I have to do what I have to do in order to maximize the opportunity to get my message out. And this is a great way to do that. The other thing that I want to do, or said that I was going to do, is to start using the YouTube channel to disseminate more information. Our involvement in our city council meetings is relatively low. And I do understand that. I know everybody's busy, but I know you want to be engaged and involved. And so this will offer the opportunity for that. Please like my channel. Share this video, share other videos. We've got several topics that I'll be addressing. One of them that I said that I wanted to do was to read prior to the meeting the entire agenda, or all the critical things on the agenda, and then by doing that have an opportunity to let you know what was on the upcoming agenda meeting. We meet on the second Tuesday and fourth Monday of every month. So we will be meeting on the 22nd of August. Today is the 19th of August, so this is Friday. Monday will be the meeting, and let's run through the agenda real quick and just hit on a few highlights. There's some housekeeping stuff on there that's relatively uneventful in terms of running the city. So let me move on. There's a couple of requests for alcohol permits. Those usually fly through relatively quickly. There's a lease of a small piece of property next to La Chine. It's a piece of property the city owns. La Chine's been using it and taking care of it. So this is just going to allow them to lease it from us. Again, it's city property, but it's of no value to the city. And it is being used and being maintained by the neighbors. So they're going to take over a short-term lease on it. There'll be a hearing on the use of Train Station Park and the adjacent roadway, as well as the parking at City Hall for the Denham Springs Mardi Gras crew. That'll be February the 11th, 2023. And they're asking to use all of that facility. They're going to pay for the organization. They're providing security. They've really done a good job on this. So what they're trying to do is to expand the Denham Springs Mardi Gras crew. They always have a post-parade get-together for the crew, and they're doing this in a public venue right there in the middle of Denham, utilizing our train station park and the parking across the street to sort of to advertise for the crew and to hopefully grow the participation in the Mardi Gras crew. So maybe consider that. That'll be February the 11th, 2023. I expect that their request to use the facilities will fly through just fine. We've got a request to approve a cooperative endeavor between Denham and the City of Alexandria. This is for the purchase of a vehicle. They already have an established contract price or an agreement price on the purchase of a vehicle, and it's perfectly legal and quite customary for us to piggyback on their agreement. So we're sort of using the discounted price that the City of Alexandria gets in order to purchase a vehicle that we need to purchase. There is a request for approval for a payment of $136,000 to one of the contractors for the Hill and Hood Road Gas Improvements Project. So we sought to expand our ability to provide gas services to the outlying areas. The more customers we can get in, the more efficient and effective we can be in running the organization. So it hopefully helps us to provide a better service for our customers, you mainly, and to do so at a more effective rate. So that's a payment towards an expansion in our gas system. There's a request for payment for $15,600 to a contractor that's working on the Pete's Highway lift station. So we've been in the process of completely revamping our lift stations to be more effective and efficient in moving wastewater from the outlying areas into the treatment facility, and that is part of that project. That's a that was a $469,000 project initially. This $15,000 payment is one of a few payments that we've made now, with a balance remaining in the project of about $388,000 of work yet to be done. There's a request for approval, a payment of $74,000 to ProScales Construction, who is working on a drainage improvement project for us on Jean Street at Elmer Street. If you're familiar with the South Woodcrest area, then you're probably well aware that in that area, Elmer at Jean, there's standing water's always been an issue there. It's been ever since I can remember. And so we had the money to go forward in this project, which is a $225,000 project, to make some drainage improvements in that area to hopefully help get that water out of there quicker. We have a request for payment in the amount of almost $136,000 for the repavement of Yellow Jacket Boulevard. You'll notice between the high school and the freshman high that road has been resurfaced. This is a one-time payment. It's a total project. It's been completed. It's $136,000. That'll give you an idea of the cost of some of the public works things that we do. $136,000 is a lot of money. That's the cost to repave just that portion that you see having been repaved recently on Yellow Jacket Boulevard. And then we have a request to authorize one of our engineering firms to submit for an application for a water sector grant. Interestingly enough, let's see what this says. It says the contractor hereby on behalf of the city of Denham Springs to apply for and submit an application for a water sector grant for the replacement of the Brignac water well. So our water system it's a closed system drawn from every time you turn on your faucet, but that water comes from initially from any one of our water wells that provides water pressure into this sealed system, one of which is the Brignac water well, currently with a capacity of 600 gallons per minute. And this project, if we're cleared and if we get the money, the funding, it's a I don't remember if this is a state or a federal request, but it's money provided for this type of projects through either a state or federal agency. And this is just a request for consideration for that grant. Of course, a grant means you don't have to pay it back, and there's very limited contribution or very limited, what's the word that I'm looking for? Participation, I guess. We'll pay the engineering costs, but the cost of the project is huge. And it's paid for externally. Doesn't mean it's not paid for, right? We pay for it. I don't like it when somebody says that some other entity's paid for it, therefore it doesn't cost us anything. There's no free ride. We do pay for it, but this is a grant from another governmental entity. It'll allow us to increase the water rate from 600 gallons per minute to 1,200 gallons per minute. So it's a doubling of the capacity of the Brignac water well. And then we've got one on here that I'm not familiar with. It says to adopt a revised resolution for the sale of 2525 Riverview Drive. And I'm afraid I have zero knowledge on that. I'll have to investigate that before we meet in session. And then we've got two final things on here, which are condemnations to destroy structures that are unsafe, unhealthy. First of all is 1521 North Woodcrest. So that's on the opposite side of Florida Boulevard from what we talked about a while ago, the project to improve drainage on Elmer. It's the opposite side, North Woodcrest, instead of the South Woodcrest area. Let me read just the summary from our city government. that defines the condition of that property. Again, it is 1521 Woodcrest Boulevard, and the summary says the dwelling is unfit for human habitation. Extensive repair work is required and the structure is not secure. In its present condition, the dwelling creates an unsafe, unsanitary, and hazardous environment for the neighborhood and for an overall community. So, if a property remains blighted long enough, obviously it's a quality of life issue to the neighbors. It's unsafe, it's unhealthy, and it's unsightly. And so eventually the city has to get involved and cause something to happen. And so that property has been blighted. There's pictures on here I wish I could share with you. It's clearly a property that is troublesome, and that'll be dealt with. The other one is 2351 South Woodcrest. So this is, again, back over in the Elmer Street area on the South Woodcrest side, the opposite side of Florida from where we just mentioned. And this one, the summary says this structure received several feet of water during the flood of August 2016 flood event and has not been repaired. Most all of the windows are broken and exterior doors are missing. Termite damage visible in the rear section of the home. Vermin, and it uses the word specifically raccoons, were photographed in the attic of this vacant home. Flood damage assessment is considered substantial damage at 52.7%. So in other words, it wouldn't be economically feasible to repair the home. It's beyond, you could not, for the amount of money it would cost to remediate it, the value of the finished product would not exceed the cost to get it in that condition. So there's no feasible way to make this work out. So again, in the interest of safety and health of the neighbors and unsightliness to the community, that will be torn down. So these when things are condemned and torn down like that, typically we will lien that property for the cost of the remediation of the destruction and removal of the home, and then if the property is sold, out of the selling price, the city will be reimbursed. There's other ways to go about that. Some of this is through federal grant. In fact, some of these are properties, maybe not these specifically, but we are doing a lot in the area of the old First Baptist Church to take possession of properties, to remediate them and clear them, and then they will not be put back in commerce. In other words, it'll be public use property going forward. And there's lots of things that we could do with that. There's just no feasible way to develop that property into livable property in that part of town. For instance, the flooding situation is predictable, and there's little that can be done. If you wanted to build a structure, 40 feet in the air, maybe it would be clear of river issues, but that certainly is not feasible. So that's a whole nother discussion for a different day. There's a lot going on. I just wanted to take this opportunity again to share our agenda for the coming up meeting. Sometime after Monday's meeting, I'll do a recap video explaining sort of the actions, if there's anything worthwhile or anything noteworthy, just to make sure that it gets out and gets disseminated. So it's fun to use this platform to keep you invested, to keep you interactive in what we're doing. And hopefully this will almost be like if everybody was available to attend the city council meeting. So again, thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the privilege of being able to serve. I ask again that you would share this channel, this information. Let's stay interactive, involved. Please, please, please give me your questions. There's multiple ways to do that. Probably the best way to do that is just by responding to the video below in the comments section. So that's it. Let's stay connected. Let's move forward in our effort, ever diligent to defend liberty at all costs, and together to make Denham Springs a better place to live. Thank you so much, and God bless.